Hi, James. You're on mute.
Oh, I apologize for that. I apologize. Welcome to today's session, climbing the virtual ladder. This is the greatest ever session, guys. I can see the energy in the chat section. I can see, wow, you're giving it the vibe. You are giving it the best, guys. Let's continue in the chat section. She must know that she's welcomed here at LX, guys. This is the greatest speaking series ever, and today we are having amazing Edu, guys. You can just see on the screen here. We are having the greatest, and we will learn today. We will have a lot. We will have fun. We will engage. But one of the things that I would like to tell you guys is you have to listen whatever she will say today. Good luck to you all. We are here all to learn. I'm here, your favorite CA James Chablebedeng, and I'm not alone, guys. I have here my colleague, Loshan Makole. Hi, Loshan.
Hi, hi everybody. I see the energy in the chat. Yeah, so good to be here, guys. Yeah, I'm looking
These
forward. I
learners
hope
are
you're
giving
ready
their
and
best.
filled your heads with you. The topic is that. So back to you, James.
Yes, guys, say hello to us. You are hosts with fire emojis in the chat. I would like to see more fire emojis in the chat, guys. Let's drop the fire emojis. Let's drop the love emojis in the chat. I would like to see your energy today. I would like to know your mood today, guys. I don't know how are you feeling now. I'm just feeling. I don't know how to express it, but I'm feeling energized like it's a Friday. It's like I'm on a party, guys. So guys, let's give it energy in the chat section. Guys, today this is today's agenda. This is I would like to take you through what we will do today, guys. This is the agenda, and I would like to listen. The first thing is welcome and the introduction. The second thing is how to engage, in which the introduction we have already done. How to engage. Then we are having a check-in activity. Then, guys, boom. The next thing, do you know what? Can you guess in the chat section, guys? We are having the side chat. This is why the moment that we have been waiting for, guys. This is the moment. And then we are having the question and answers session. And if you have any question, guys, I know we have provided the side link in the chat. Can you please ask your questions on the side so that we might take them up. And lastly, we're gonna have the next steps, announcements as usual, and we're gonna have the closing remarks. Guys, that's all for today. I would like you to be there, guys. I would like you guys to urge others to join this session, guys. Yes, so how are we going to engage today? We would like to you to turn up your energy and engage with us in the chat section. I'm saying this repeatedly, guys. Second thing is stay alert so you don't miss out on anything. Yes, you don't miss anything. Even you don't miss, how can I say it? My voice? Yes, you don't miss anything, guys,
Yeah,
in this
don't
session.
miss
So
anything.
be there, be there. And the next thing is questions. Drop your questions on the shared slide link, as I have already said. And lastly, most importantly, listen, learn, engage, and have fun. Yes, guys, I would like to know, in which mood are you today? Are you in the mood like mine on number one, just dancing, feeling like it's Friday, just feeling that energy? And are you in this on the second mode? You are just bored, you don't want to talk to anybody. And are you are you tired on number three? Are you tired? Or on number four, you just need a good space, good food. You just need anything good without talking to anybody. Let me know, guys, in which mood are you? I can see others are saying always vibing. Others are saying we are bored. Wow. Others saying we just want food. We just want something cool. Loshan, in which mood are you today? Let me know.
Hey, you know the drill. I'm in the first mood, number one. I'm so excited. I feel like exploding right now. So my energy levels are high, James. You have no idea.
Wow, wow, wow. You can see, guys, your hosts here. We are just in a mood like something, I don't know how to say it, but guys, today I'm running out of words. Everything today is amazing and is great. You know what? At this point, guys, I would like to hand you to Loshan. This is the moment that you're waiting for. Loshan, this is time for you. I'm handling it to you.
Thank you so much, James. Guys, I see your energy. I love your energy. Please keep it up. What's the one thing you'd like to know from our guest? Tell me. I know you got the flyer. You saw what he's all about. Some of you have sent questions on Slido. So please, the one thing you'd like to know from our guest. Tell me now, so that we should let her know. So drop it in the chat. What's the one thing you'd like to know from our guests? How to become a committed VA. Okay, I see. Her turning point and her. Oh wait. Someone's saying her turning point and her overall journey. Oh yeah, I look forward to that as well. Some people want to know where you are based. Amazing. To know what's her favorite thing to do anytime. Awesome. Okay. Her journey in virtual assistants. Okay. Become a successful VA. Nice one. How do you grab opportunities? Nice one. Challenges as a VA. Wow, I see. You guys keep it coming. And you know what? Just write down those expectations, those questions, write them somewhere. And please, if your friend is not here, let them know. If your kids are not in this chat, not we are about to start. Okay, so James, the next slide, please. Okay, so now we're gonna drop emojis. Just to zero. Okay. I want to see those images in the chat to show that you're ready about this session. Okay, let's go on, James. So we're gonna count. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, these images. Uh, meet only amazing, amazing guys.
Good
Love it,
afternoon. Good
I can
afternoon.
feel
Good
the
evening.
excitement. Love it, guys. I'm going to emojis.
Good afternoon.
Guys, okay, so Amanda has an amazing story, guys. She's one of the most, from but she was alone at some point, and then now she became like and after that she was like Navi work, and then after that on night work, to just help young people all around the world. She's very passionate about young people. So now we're gonna hear the whole story from her. Because most of you want to know how you want to know where she's best. You want to know, how she became how she got to where she is today. So today is the day. Oh, someone said they can't hear me.
Yes, Roshan, your voice is breaking off. You're coming in and you're coming out. So yes.
Oh my gosh.
But you're okay now.
Oh,
So I hope we can remain at this, level that it's even.
okay. Is my voice clear now, guys?
It is perfect for me at
Now
least.
it's perfect, right? Okay, and I'm too fast as well. I'll try to speak slow. Okay, so amazing you. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much. It's been a great privilege working with you. So please just the people, who you are, tell us where you how you got to where you are today. And please forget where you're based. Tell me we want to know where you're based. Yes,
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ALX. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. Like my name is Amezel Sagwe Idu. I am passionate about young people. I'm passionate about sharing knowledge. I'm passionate about transferring knowledge. And I'm passionate about the fact that the knowledge actually settles with the people, especially young people, especially millennials and Gen Zs. Russia knows that. There's one thing I need to do. First of all, I need to commend the organizers of this program. The energy is hot. Like I was feeling the vibe from the room where I'm sitting. And for those that want to know where I am, I'm in Manchester in the United Kingdom, but I am very African. I am very Nigerian. It was just the next phase of things for my life and for my family. But I am proudly Nigerian. I am proudly African. I am proudly global because everything I want to do, thanks to the internet and the world wide web, we are global, so you can sit here and be affecting and impacting lives all over the world. So a little bit about me. I am a graduate of law. I think I graduated from the university about 2002. That's a very long time. And then I went to the Nigerian law school to qualify as a lawyer, barrister in Nigeria. Then subsequently, I did a master's in the University of London, a master's in law. And then I also have what's my motto? I'm having so many questions. Okay, but let me finish my introduction. And then so I did a master's in
Just
law. Yes, I did a master's in law, and then I also became a chartered human resource professional with the Chartered Institute of Personal Management in Nigeria. I also am an associate member of a couple of other HR platforms. And how did I? So I started with law. I worked in one of the best law firms in Nigeria. It's also very global, Udodom and Belosage. And if you know anything about legal training, it's very strict, very principled. You learn order, you learn discipline quite early in life. And the thing about it was, I was always determined to work. So I worked when I was in university. When I have my day off in college, I would go and work for my uncle in his gallery. I would learn from him, learn from his friends. I used to be the receptionist. I used to read the newspapers to him. I would read the paper to him. He will tell me to pause, and then his friends would discuss it. They'll tell me to continue. I was like a TV set, a TV presenter. I would present and do that. So when I graduated from school, it took, I didn't go to law school till after 14 months because there was a backlog. So everybody, yes, you can ask the questions, James. So everybody in my set and a couple of sets from some other colleges had to wait for about a year and 4 months to get into, a year and 2 months, that's 14 months to get into the Nigerian law school. So in that time, I interned with the law firm of Udodom and Belosage, and then I learned company secretary. So I started being a company secretary right out of college. So I would take minutes of meetings, I would circulate minutes of meetings, sometimes develop the agenda. I learned all those things there. So when I got to law school, and it was one of even the exam questions, a part of them teaching you that in law school, it was one of the exam questions, things about company secretarial or company law. So when I finished my internship, went to law school, got out of law school, went back to work for that law firm. Working for that law firm, I worked there for a while. Then I left and I worked there for about 2 years. And then I went to work for an investment bank. So at the investment bank, I was doing legal, HR, and trust. Now, and that was 2007 to 2010. In 2010, at a meeting, not like this, but everybody was there. I was looking, I didn't know what was happening. It was announced that I would become the head of human resources. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm also finding out at this meeting. And immediately after the retreat, I was given a letter to go and set up and run an independent HR division. And so I started researching, I started studying, I started working on all the documents that were available with me and trying to improve them. And I was there for 12 years. I was head of HR for 10 of those 12 years. And then, of course, I did all kinds of programs, culture modification, transition, employee engagement, all kinds of initiatives. I also doubled as legal because once a lawyer, always a lawyer. So I would take minutes of meetings, set up agendas. Then from there, I moved. I was there for 12 years. And then from there, I moved I took a break, but it didn't last long because I got another job as the head of HR or head of people for a logistics tech company. I was there for about 2 months, and then I got another opportunity where I worked as the executive head of human resources for a multinational. There I was involved in so many projects, did a lot of transfers, moving from from a paper-based system to virtual system. There were just so many things. So I didn't go to like a VA school, but I went to law school, and part of the courses that you do in law is company secretarial. You're taught about all these things. But post-COVID, that's when VA started becoming very attractive because you can sit in Nairobi and be a company secretary to a company in Russia, just because the world is truly global and the internet makes that very possible. So, so when I got into the UK, I started NaviWork. If you're not following NaviWork, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go right now. NaviWork Life is one word. You find it on YouTube, NaviWork Life. And then we also have an Instagram handle. Go there and follow. I have sessions every Thursday. I'm going to have one this evening where people ask me all kinds of questions based on the videos that go out on Monday. So on YouTube, we have these videos. And I started that when I moved to the UK, NaviWork Life. It is a place where I answer all kinds of HR questions. Of course, the original plan was ask me questions based on the video that went out on Monday. But what eventually started happening was people will come there, ask me questions on the video, then ask me anything they're dealing with in the office. And then we'll answer the question. Not just me. I have people that are very experienced and professionals as well. They could say, oh, or you could do this, or you could do that. And it's always an amazing session. We have one today, tonight as well at 9 p.m. So I started NaviWork. And then on Workers' Day in Nigeria, May 1st is Workers' Day. We launched my book, Body Up. It sells on Amazon and is also selling on Seller. I hope you can see it. So I authored this book, and a lot of the content on the YouTube channel is from the book. So I read from the book and I discuss it and I give personal experience, personal stories. But I am very passionate about this generation and young people. So my videos are not long on YouTube. So if you have not gone to follow, I think you should go right now. Or Russian is going to put up the link, Navi Work Life on YouTube. Everything that I know I poured out into those videos, and those sessions I have on Thursday. So yes, it's been an interesting journey. And I never stop learning. Just recently, I got involved in privacy and GDPR, and I just concluded a global privacy program as a subject matter expert, as the privacy lead. What I was talking, just generally making sure the company was GDPR and DPA compliant, and making suggestions and doing a gap analysis. I did that here. So that's what I'm thinking about. We're always learning, we're always moving, we're always doing things just to make sure that you don't get left behind, because anybody that stops learning starts dying. I hope I have said my journey in summary.
Yes. Wow. Very impressive. On the chat, I love how people asking so many, they're so excited. And someone saying never stop learning. This is such an amazing life journey. I just love what you're sharing, amazing, because I mean there was a time you were as young as these guys, and you did. I like what you did. You were working for your uncle. I remember you were going to work for your uncle. You read the newspaper for your dad and his friends,
My
stuff like
uncle
that.
and his
Those
friends,
small
my dad and his friends, all of them read the
exactly,
paper. Yeah.
so yeah, so you were doing stuff when you were young, just sitting at home and waiting for that big break, right? You were helping. So I really love that. That's something that also we can take out. It doesn't matter what you're doing now, what you're doing, even if it's small, it can have an impact on your life in the future, right? Because yeah, so much amazing. And I just wanted to let everybody know that you can ask your questions on Slido. Use the Slido link. It's been pinned at the chat, at the top of the chat. So please take advantage of the Slido link for all your questions. Yes, so amazing. So what do you think? Can you share some of your some practical tips, that you can give this generation? You can see they have social media now. They want things to be done quickly. They want quick success. Some of them they don't really know some soft skills to engage in at work. So what are some of the tips you can share for this generation on how to succeed as a VA? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And like I said, I'm very passionate about young people because I was once young. I remember when I was in college, and I'm also very faith-based. When I was in college, one of my pastors said to me that you need to remember that a young person, as young as you are, you can still make serious mistakes. So you have to be intentional about life. You can think you have your whole life ahead of you. I can't believe I'm going to be 45 in November. I was 23 a long time ago, and I still feel 23 until I hear my children shouting and I realize that, okay, you're no longer 23. But a young person with your whole life ahead of you, like you think, you can still make serious mistakes. But when I got older, I decided to tweak what he said to me, that a young person with your whole life ahead of you, you can still make huge successes. And you can make them early. The reason why I try to tweak it is because I didn't want to be mistake conscious. I wanted to be success conscious. There's something powerful about what you're conscious of. If you're conscious of making mistakes, chances are you will keep making mistakes. But if you're focused on succeeding and you outline step by step what it will take, attend programs like this done by ALX, so that you are improving yourself, you're gaining knowledge, from everything presents a learning experience for me. When I'm cooking and something boils over, I think about a learning experience about, how you don't get angry because it can boil over and make a mess. I mean, everything for me is a learning experience. I try to see a lesson in everything that I face. So for the young people, the first thing I will tell you is that with your whole life ahead of you, you can still make huge successes and make them early. To be a successful VA is what it takes to be a successful person in life. And that's why I always talk about developing your soft skills, because I have always said it, that character or competence without character is rubbish. You know why? Because your character will ruin your opportunities if you have bad character. So it's good to be a competent VA. It is good to know your onions. It is good to master all the applications that you can use to make your work more efficient, to schedule your meetings, to not overbook meetings. You know, have all those apps, have a Kanban board, have all the technology that you can use to plan, have things like, know how to use things like Trello or Asana, all those kind of things. Very important. But if you are rude at meetings, if you interrupt at meetings, if you delay when you're supposed to send things out, if you don't send out an agenda or a clear and concise or precise agenda, if you constantly interrupt people when they talk, if you don't take good minutes, you will lose clients and lose people. So those are some of the skills. If now everything is virtual, so you say VA is virtual, I don't have to go into the office. But for instance, we're having this meeting and you can see me. There are meetings where the clients will insist I need to see videos. You must always be prepared. Don't say it's a virtual meeting and so I don't have to use makeup. The virtual meeting, I can just not brush my teeth and just jump out of bed and everything will be okay. And just be, you know, what is why they want to see my face? No, your attitude is everything. I once had, because I surrounded myself with a lot of young, older people when I was younger. So you will hear me quoting them, like I just quoted one of my pastors. One of my pastors also said to me, Pastor Grace, she said, you know, as a young person, you have to be, no, I think that was Pastor Baby, you have to be intentional. You have to, my mom would say, you have to dress the way you want to be addressed, whether it is virtual or whether it is physical. In my book, the first chapter in my book talks about smiling. I call this Smiletastic. And I talked about the fact that I didn't wear my emotions or wear the way I felt on my face. Because guess what? When people want their work to be done, they don't really care whether you had a bad day. Having a bad day is irrelevant if their job has not been done. So I talk about, putting on a smile. And something about putting on a smile, it releases endorphins. You need to get the book. Russian, please put the link for the book, both on Amazon, on Seller. For those in Africa, I think it's better you go with Seller. If you're global, if you're outside of Africa, Seller, I think it will be easier for you to get hard copies or digital copies. For Amazon, if I would suggest Amazon if you're outside of Africa. But as I was saying, let me continue what I was saying. So you need to be intentional. What kind of courses are you doing? What steps have you taken to develop yourself? Are you just being a virtual assistant because you don't have a choice? Now, guess what? There's nothing wrong with being a virtual assistant because you don't have a choice. But from there, you build into being what you really want to be. So a lot of tips are very important, you know, so that's why I said that I gave this background to say that I'm talking about the skills you need to be a successful VA, but it's the things that you need to be a successful person, to have a successful career. It's not just about being a VA, but as a successful person and a successful career. You need to have good communication skills. You have to learn how to speak. You have to learn how to pick your words. You have to learn that when you are speaking, how to address people that are older than you, how to address people that are more senior to you, how to address people that are your contemporaries. People should leave you feeling enlightened. People should leave you feeling good about themselves. Not when you finish speaking, people are like, why was she so rude? Why was she so much in a hurry? What did exactly did I say to warrant this kind of response from her? You need to be very conscious. You need to be conscious about your writing skills. You need to develop them. For some people, it comes natural. For me, I read law, and then I did HR. Writing was very important to me. And you have very, very great tools on the internet. When I was growing up, the internet was for very few people. The people that had access to the internet were very few and far between. Here, everybody with a phone that has access. You have access to Google, the very least. The way in Nigeria or other people always say the police is your friend, that's how I tell people Google should be your best friend. Ask Google, how can I do this better? How can I say this better? There is even the new one now, ChatGPT. I found that ChatGPT only recently. And I was like, this is so amazing. You know, you can write something and ChatGPT will tell you how to say it better. You can say, ChatGPT, I just said this. Can you make it sound less formal? Can you make it sound very polite? And ChatGPT will say, of course. And it will make it sound polite. There are many tools at your disposal. So don't sit like a local champion and say, all I know is all I need. Absolutely not. Oh, I used to be the one that writes for my family. Like my family will say, okay, we have a lawyer in the family. We have something to communicate. Who's going to write it? It will be me. Now, that person is now relying on tools to make sure that even the fact that I write so well, I speak so well, I get to do it better. All of us have the opportunity to get to do it better. You need to just harness it. You need to just take advantage of it. A VA has to have great time management skills. You need to prioritize. You need to say, this is important. This is the order of importance. You need to be able to ensure that you are not overbooking your meetings. Because the thing about being a virtual assistant is that you can get greedy. You can say, I'm virtual. I don't have to be in one place. So you take on so many clients and then you are overbooking meetings and meetings are clashing with meetings and then you are having problems. So you need to decide that, look, this is what my capacity is. With this capacity, this is what I can deliver. And then who knows, as you do it and you do it well, you have a company that outsources VAs. So you're not just the only one doing it. You have people that work with you. You have a huge clientele and you are assigning people to be VAs to other companies. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very, very important, but you need to pace yourself. So the thing about the younger generation, in my generation, we understood planning, we understood taking things at pace. But here, everybody wants to get rich quick now. People like noodles rather than jollof rice. You like something that is instant. I put it on the fire, it comes out on time, I'm ready to go. But people, the time it takes to cook and bake and make sure something is well settled, a lot of people in the generation, in the younger generation, don't really have that patience. You need to develop it because things that last have to have a solid foundation. So before you take on 200 clients, make sure that you're servicing your 5 clients very well. Make sure that you're effectively scheduling meetings. Make sure that you're not overwhelmed with preparing agendas and writing meetings. Because you know the thing, when you write good minutes, you circulate the minutes no matter how good they are for everybody to confirm that this is what they really said or this is their understanding of what happened at the meeting. Then when they come back to you with their comments, you incorporate those comments before you send them back out. So you can imagine how many people you can effectively manage by doing that. So you don't get greedy. Don't be in a hurry to, I'm a VA, I'm sitting in Russia, I can service 60 people. Oh, no. You need Russian, I need to take note of the questions so that you can ask me those questions because they are popping up on the screen and, I don't want to lose track of my time and everything. You need to learn how to prioritize. How do you prioritize? There are 2 different types of importance. There is important and urgent. And then there are things that are not so important. So when you don't have to take mine, develop your own classification system. What is not so important? What is important? What is important and urgent? What is important, urgent, and has to be done now? And develop and have a criteria for all of them. Important is that the client is important. Important is that decisions will be made based on this. Important and urgent means they want to make a decision very soon. Important and urgent now means they want to make a decision today. So when you prioritize like that, you know how to schedule your clients. You know how to arrange the things around you. You also have to be skillful at handling confidential information. The fact that you're a VA and you can service people all over the world doesn't mean that people should finish a meeting and they see the minutes of their meeting on social media, on Instagram, screen grabbed. Guess what? I'm the VA for this particular company and look at what they're discussing now and it's all over social media. People could sue you. I told you that I'm doing a course I just finished a program in privacy and I was the privacy lead on a global privacy program. Breach of confidentiality has become very expensive. Very expensive. So as a VA, you must understand the concept of confidentiality. You cannot take it for granted. People cannot have a meeting where you were the VA and they start seeing the stories all over the place. That's a no-no. As a VA, you must understand that people's information Very, very important. And like I said, even in life, people cannot come and confide in you and they hear it somewhere else or they see it on social media because everybody's on social media. And social media is a great thing. I like the fact that people are learning so much. This is possible because of social media. But you must know where to draw the line. You must know where not to expose your client's information. Your client's information is for your client and the people that you serve. It is not for social media consumption, no matter how juicy the information you just got. Like, oh, I just finished taking the minutes for Mastercard Foundation. They have great plans. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And you put out all the ideas and somebody steals it and gets the first mover advantage over them. Do you think that they'll be pleased? Oh no, you need to practice and harness the skills the confidentiality skills. Very important. You must learn planning and scheduling. You must learn how to write good minutes. Don't let people be confused after they see your minutes. It doesn't make you more intelligent. Don't use unnecessarily big words. I say that communication is only effective when you understand what I've said. If I'm talking to you now and you can't understand what I'm saying, then I might as well shut up. Communication is a two-way street. It means that whoever you spoke to understand what you intended for them to understand. If they leave the meeting understanding something else, you have not communicated. So when you're telling people we're having this meeting, they must understand what you're saying. Don't do something and people are wondering, what did she just say? Or you leave people more confused than they were when they came for that meeting. One thing I always talk about when you're a VA is recognizing your place. The truth about being a VA is that you will be in many meetings, many important meetings. You have to know that you are there to listen and take very good notes. Your opinion is inconsequential unless you are asked. Now you're a young person, and the thing about young people is that they have access to all kinds of knowledge. They are learning from everywhere and anyone. They have access to all the motivational speakers, have access to all the rich men that are giving free advice and counseling and mentoring online. And so they always feel the need to give an opinion. When you're a VA, your major task is making sure, apart from scheduling and planning and doing the agenda and making sure and your servicing company, is making sure that you are taking notes. Is not to give an opinion when you're supposed to be taking the minutes of a meeting. If you are asked for an opinion, very good, that you have learned and you have the skill and you have the knowledge, you give that opinion and who knows, from there you can move to something else. But before then, you take very good notes. And there's so much to say. Things to do after you've had a meeting. You don't just sit back and say, I've had a meeting. I'm hungry. Let me just do something. Let me just stroll. You need to realize that when you have taken minutes, it's almost the best practice to begin to do the proper minutes and edit your minutes immediately after the meeting. Why? Because the meeting is fresh in your mind. You can see the mannerisms. You can see the mannerism in your mind's eye. You can still remember the facial expressions. Like if I finish having a meeting with you, Roshan, right now, I can remember how you were nodding and I can go back and say your excitement. And with that, what I could see, it will determine how I'll put my notes down. But if I wait till much later, after I've watched all the movies I want to watch, after I have taken a stroll, after I've gone shopping, when I'm just in the mood to do it, the likelihood that I will lose the spirit behind the minutes is very high. So you need to understand that that is something that is urgent and important, and in many cases important to do now. So there are many posts. There's the work you do preparing for the meeting that you have as a VA. There's the work that you do preparing for the meeting there's the work that you do after the meeting. And then if you're not just a VA that is a company secretary, you're actually managing a company's diary, or managing a director's diary, or managing a group of directors' diary. You have to make use of all the tools. Use Calendly. Google Calendar, different things that can help you plan effectively and make sure that your execution is flawless, that you are not tardy. You cannot be late. I talk about it in my book. In fact, one of the sessions, I don't know if Roshan was at that session that we had, the Instagram Live. Roshan, I hope people are following us on Navi Work Life. Go and subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
Go to Instagram and go and follow.
Instagram.
We talked about, one of my bosses came for that meeting. And guess what? He said, on time is too late. That was his contribution. People tell you, you have to be on time. But that's this generation. When I was growing up, you don't have to be on time. You have to come there early. at the minimum 15 minutes. Now it's a virtual meeting. This meeting was supposed to start at 4. I was logged on by 3:45 because we're trying to make sure that everything was available, everything was right, because you do not want to be late. So on time can be too late. You're going for a journey, you're going for a meeting, if you're a VA and now want to meet all the VAs, whatever it is, or you want to set up, make sure that you give ample time for delays. You cannot be seen to be tardy. You can't not be seen to be inefficient, because inefficiency brings in you being ineffective. So you have to be efficient. You have to plan. That's why when I say taking on too many clients as a VA, if you plan to have a meeting, you're doing virtual assistant services for a meeting holding at 9 a.m. You cannot book another meeting at 12. No, you can't do that. You have to book another one maybe at 2, because you've taken down the minutes. You need time to flesh it out a bit, at least put down your thoughts. Give enough time for yourself so that you're not rushing to the next meeting and you're always in a hurry. Before you know, people will say, we need to look, and this is a global market. Let's look for another VA. This one is a bit too complicated. I think we're overbooked. I think we're not so important to her. For important to her, she will not always be rushing into our meeting. She would have planned for us. She would have prepared for us. She would have sent us the agenda on time. And then don't send agenda the night before the meeting. People need to prepare. People need to properly research what they want to come and discuss. You need to give people time to be able to be their best at meetings. I mean, so many things, but
Wow.
Russian, let me let you go.
Wow. Wow, amazing. Oh my gosh, the chats. Like, literally, these guys are getting whatever you're saying right now. Someone are saying on time is too late. Amazing, you're on fire. You're on fire. Be early, even on Zoom calls. Yes, especially this time around. We know people are like, oh, it's on Zoom, I can come anytime. No, you have to be early, right? So, and not on time, because on time is what? We have learned that on time is what? Drop it in the chat. On time is what? On time is too late. So always count before the time. Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, amazing. And something that stood out for me is what you said, that competence without character is rubbish. So make sure, guys, that your character is everything, right? You can have the skills, you can have the tech skills, but if your character is not good, you will not go far. Yes, I like it. On time is too late, guys. Okay. So amazing. You read a book titled Body Up, and I know you shared so much nuggets in that book on soft skills, and why should young people buy that book? Why should they read that book? And also something that they can use as VAs. So tell us why you wrote it and why anyone should read that book. And also in learning soft skills and elevating in the VA career. Yes.
Okay. So there's I just saw it now. I wrote the book. So let me talk about why I wrote the book. So in 2020, when I was going to transition from investment banking, I just knew that, I needed to know the next thing to be doing. So I resigned, without having a job. But eventually I got a job like in July and I left in April. But I wanted to pass some knowledge across, because I had a lot of friends of mine that were complaining about, this generation, they just don't get it. They give excuses. Can you imagine? This one told me that they cannot be at a meeting because they are going to vacation with their girlfriend. They were so many were complaining about Gen Zs and millennials. And because, like I said, I'm a Christian, I'm a faith-based person. There's everything about me is Jesus. That's me. And so I started thinking, what would Jesus do in this kind of situation? Would he complain about these people, or he would try to fix it? So I said I didn't want to be among those that were complaining about the next generation of workers, because guess what? My children are after the next generation of workers and most likely will serve or work with this generation of workers. So what will be my contribution to them? Would it just be complaining about them and how they don't get it, how they don't know anything? I think the best thing to do is tell them about what I learned, is to teach them. So I started off writing these things. The first one I ever wrote was Smiletastic, because it was what helped me in my career, smiling. As small as it is, one of my bosses, who is now like my children's grandpa, in the book, when you read the book, you will hear me refer to him a lot. Grandpa said this, grandpa advised this, grandpa did that. He was one of my bosses, and he would come into the office with a stony face. and he would not smile. In fact, people that greeted him, he would answer them maybe with a grunt, not really wanting to answer them. But I would smile. At the time, I wasn't even sure that what I was doing. But he said to me, and he wrote it in the book when he did the forward, that my smile, in spite of all his howling, that my smile, in spite of his facial expression, in spite of what I could have been dealing with in my own life, just melted anything that could have been making him angry or what I could have done. Now, somebody once asked me, should I go around? No, I'm not asking you to look silly. No, I'm just asking because we all go through things. We all experience setback that can influence your facial expression or your mood in the office. But you must tell yourself, I am more than what I'm dealing with. So put on a smile because guess what? There is still hope and there is still light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, I tell myself, I'm not waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the light in the tunnel. I don't have to wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the light. So let me bring the joy that needs to be spread in there. So I write about smiling. So so that's how I started writing books. So I was doing posts on LinkedIn and people were commenting and they were engaging. And I had so much to say. So I said, you know what? Why don't I put it in the pages of the book? And as the thought was, I never knew that writing a book could be so hard and so daunting because now it couldn't just be what I was thinking and just my experience. I had to back it up with research. So I had a research assistant and then superimpose my experience on what the research was showing. And so I wrote about things, about how to behave, about the psychological contracts, how somebody may give you a contract, but it's not just what is written on paper, but there are things that in their behavior also show you what they're expecting. The young generation will say, but that's not in my contracts. That's not what they told me to do. But you have to listen to what is not being said. You have to develop the skill to listen to what they didn't say. And you may say to yourself, how do I listen to what they did not say? Oh, there is a way. You have to observe the room. You have to know whose word is important. You have to know how somebody feels about what you just said. You have to know how somebody feels about your way of working that they did not write in the contract. So somebody may tell you, oh, we have our meetings. I need your virtual assistance between 9 and 5. But you realize that the person sometimes needs a hand at another time. You can't say what my contract says is 9 and 5 and I'm sticking to no, there's something called psychocontracting. The psychological contract. What are they saying that they didn't put in the contract that does not violate my rights? Because you will say, is that not slave trade? I'm not talking about people overworking you. In the book, I also talk about overtime. So the book is rich. I talk about meeting etiquette. I called it meetiquette. That's my word. I created that word. So I talk about meeting etiquette, how to behave, how to get there on time, the things that I've shared with you here. I talk about you're not going to be available if you're a VA, maybe you're not working for a company, but if you're working for a company, how to apply for leave, how to be diligent. I talk about how to behave at lunchtime. I talk about your body language. I talk about how to give feedback, your social skills. I talk about having a growth psychology. I talk about how to resign. I even talk about what to do after you have resigned. The book is rich. And when I was writing the book, wow, I said it's addressed to a generation that wants to get the information quickly. So my idea, even from the videos, was that each chapter should not be more than a 5-minute read. So when you read it, you get the point in 5 minutes. And if you need further research, you go and do your further research, but you get the message. So it is when I wrote a chapter and I felt it was longer than 5 minutes to read it, I cut it down. Because I said there must be a way to communicate what I'm communicating without boring the people to death. You know what I mean? So the title of the book is Body Up. Body Up. And many people ask me, so before you ask, how did you get the title of the book? So when I was working, in investment, you can find the book on Seller. Roshan, please put the link. You can find the book on Seller. You can find the book on Amazon, but I always recommend Seller for those that are in Africa. Or you can just send us a DM on our social media, on Instagram. Send us a DM and say, oh, I need to purchase the book, and we can tell you the way to do it, because I know that the platforms collect their fees and things like that. But if you send us a DM, we'll know what to do about it. So about the name of the book, Body Up. When I was working in investment banking, I was thinking, myself and management were thinking about how to pass down the culture of the organization, because we're getting new people and we sort of felt like the culture was being diluted. So how do we ensure that this culture is being translated from one generation to the next? So guess what? Somebody in my company had resigned and gone to another investment bank, a much bigger investment bank. So I asked her, are there any things that are going on in your company that you think that we can do here that you have left? She said, well, like when I joined, they assigned somebody to me, and that person was the one that would teach me the unspoken things that I don't see in the contract, tell me different things. And that person was assigned to me for a period. And after that, the person is no longer assigned to me. So the person is essentially your body. When I heard that, I said, okay, so you body up with the person. Okay. So in the investment bank, we set up and we did the initiative that we called Body Up. And I did a presentation to management. We'll do Body Up, all of that. All kinds of amazing things. We'll assign people that we believe embody the culture of the organization, and we'll assign them to those that are just coming in to make sure they're teaching them the spoken and unspoken norms. And it was a win. Management bought it. We put it in the staff handbook. And so when I was going to write the book, we just thought the body program, Body Up. That was how it came. So you're essentially, you're essentially. So what I did with this book is I bodied up with everybody that would read it to teach you some spoken and some unspoken things. So that is what I do with this book. So because I get people saying, can you mentor me? Can you do that? Mentoring is a lot of work. And that's why I do the videos. That's why I do the Instagram lives. And that's why I wrote the book. So that if you cannot have, like I said, I'm in Manchester. Many people here in Malawi, they're in Johannesburg, they're in Kenya. Many people are in Nigeria, they're all over the world. So how many people can I sit down with and tell them what I've learned? And I have been blessed with great teachers. When I worked in the law firm, I had amazing partners working with me. In the book, I talk about them. When I worked in investment banking, I had amazing bosses. You know what? In investment banking, for instance, my bosses were billionaires, but they work started at 8 o'clock. Every single day they came to work at 7:30 a.m. Every single day. Wow. They came to work at 7:30 a.m. They were billionaires. So you would ask yourself, why do they have to be here so early? But I saw them every single day. So I learned from the best. I learned from the best. And so a lot of the things, of course, I did my research. You would also see where we got a lot of information from. But I also put down what I learned from my mentors, what I learned from my bosses, mistakes that I made. In fact, the last conversation was one I had with Grandpa. You know, so I put down my mistakes, and at the live sessions that we have on Thursdays, I'm very happy to share mistakes. You say, look, you know, like I said, with your whole life ahead of you, you can make serious mistakes, but you can also make serious successes. So you have to be intentional. So that's why that's what the book is about. So I'm mentoring you through Body Up. I'm mentoring you through the Instagram live sessions. I'm mentoring you through the videos. So when you follow us on YouTube, and I'm guessing Roshan will let me know how many of you have gone to follow. If you follow us on YouTube, every Monday you get a video, and the video is one tip for the week. The video tells you something. The video can tell you about meetings. The video can tell you about smiling, can tell you about lunchtime. People did not know that it wasn't cute, or you're not super effective because you're having lunch at your desk. It doesn't mean that you're the most brilliant person or the most effective person. The reason why you take a break is called a lunch break, so that you can have a departure from thinking so much. You go, you eat, you refresh yourself, you come back energized. So sitting down and having your lunch at your desk doesn't make you super effective. It doesn't make you the most hardworking person. So I talk about all those things in the book and in the video. So that's why you get the book and go and follow on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. I mean, I'm on so many platforms that my global director for sales and marketing is putting us on: Facebook, TikTok, you know, Instagram. Please follow. So all these questions on I'd like to be mentored by you, that's what I'm doing. Because like I said, I'm in Manchester. How many people can I mentor from Manchester physically? But of course, I'm mentoring you globally. I'm mentoring people in Malawi, in South Africa, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, in Kenya. I'm mentoring people in Canada, from sitting in Manchester. I'm mentoring people in Nigeria, sitting at my desk in Manchester. So yeah, that's what the YouTube and the book is about. Body Up.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, amazing. Wow. You guys, I hope you're gonna get that book right now. Okay, so the handles people are asking. So on Instagram, it's NaviWork, and on YouTube, it's NaviWork Live, right? So Instagram
One
NaviWork,
word.
one word, NaviWork. Navi,
Navi work life. Navi work life.
NaviWork.
One word.
Yes, so yes, one word, NaviWork Live, one word on YouTube. Okay, now we're gonna go to the questions. James, are you ready for the questions? Okay, so I have one here who has asked.
Yes, yes,
So it
yes.
says,
I'm here, Loshan.
okay, all right, yes, please
Yes.
throw
Oh,
it in. What's the
that's
first question?
what's a
What's the
great
first
session.
question?
I think a lot of the things that these people asked about, she has already answered it. And one of
Mm,
uh, only one question that has been left here that I can see is someone was
mm,
asking, what's her motto? I think they just want clarification on that. What's
mm,
her motto? And the second thing that they want to know is how does she handle her clients? I think maybe in the terms of payments, or some clients must be hard to convince on things, but we just want to reach some level. So these are the things that they want to know.
Okay. Thank you, James. And James, I've commented on your fire. You are fire.
mm,
And I am so I mean I couldn't have come into this meeting with a mood. You would have just lifted that mood. My mood would have looked ridiculous. So thank you for your fire, James. Really love that. So I used to say that my motto, there are words I live by, is ownership, accountability, respect, discipline. Because all these things are important to me. I find it repulsive when people don't take responsibility for what they've done. You need to own it. Don't only own the good things that you do. You need to own whether the thing is good or whether it's bad. If it's bad, you make it better. But own your mistake, own your successes, because some of us have imposter syndrome. We don't want to own our successes. Own your successes, but own your mistakes. I am very particular about respect. I respect and I honor those that have gone ahead of me. I respect and I honor those that are my contemporaries. And I respect and honor those that are coming up after me. Respect is very important because you can get an opportunity or lose an opportunity because of your level of respect. So that is very important to me. Accountability keeps me straight. I have people that I'm accountable to. There are things I cannot do because I am accountable to people. I don't want them to ask, did you really do that? And I'll be afraid to say, I was the one that did. So anything I cannot boldly say I did, I am very careful not to do because I am accountable. I am accountable. I don't want to disappoint them. And I'm not saying that I put myself under undue pressure. No, the pressure that is necessary for me to improve makes me accountable to the people I'm accountable to. Discipline is very important. Every day, my body wakes up at 5:30. Every single day, because I started waking up at 5:30 at some point to pray. But of course, some days when he wakes up at 5:30, I put it back to bed because I feel I need the rest. I slept too late. But every single day, my body wakes up at 5:30 because earlier on, I disciplined my body to wake up at that time. But sometimes when he wakes up at that time, I go back to bed. By now, my body is too used to it. So it can't help itself. He wakes up at the time. But a lot of the times, many times when I feel like, oh, I worked too late or I slept too late or it's not even healthy, I've not gotten enough sleep, I put the body back to bed. So discipline is very important. When you say you're going to do something at a certain time, don't say you will do something you can't do. If I tell you I'm going to call you back, best believe I'll call you back. And if I don't call you back, I will apologize profusely for not doing it. So respect is very important. Discipline is very important. So those are my motto. Somebody used to call them aura: ownership, responsibility. I used to call mine tada: transparency, discipline, accountability, respect. Transparency is key. one of the reasons why I love God so much is because God has integrity. If God promises you something, he will do it. And it's very hard for men, but I try my best. So I say I must be transparent. I must have integrity. So I just call it TDAR, TDAR. Transparency, discipline, accountability, respect. Accountability is almost the same or as ownership. It could go hand in hand, if you know what I mean. So those are TDAR, transparency, discipline, accountability, respect. Ownership is also very key. But if you ask me my main four, that would be it. Then somebody else asked about billing. So the question about billing is a very tricky one. First of all, you have what you build. You must first of all understand what's the industry standard. What do people typically bill for this work that I do? So that you can tell yourself that you're not being greedy, because you may feel like you should be paid like Oprah Winfrey, but you're really not there yet. You are not at Oprah's level yet. And people are not just paying for what Oprah does, they are paying for Oprah, the brand that she has become. So I would say find out what your contemporaries, people that are like you, what are they billing right now? First thing. The second thing will now be, how do I begin to scale my billing because I have improved on my brand? I'm now much better at what I do. People can give testimonials, have feedback from your clients and what they're saying about you that is influencing your billing, or how you have upskilled or upgraded the technology that you use for the work that you are doing to show value. I went through that when I was trying to price my book. I was going to underprice it because it was my first book. So I had to work with the editor. My editor is Cheryl Kiem. She's based in America, in Phoenix, Arizona. And she said to me, this is what this book is. She had to tell me, because I would have, put the book at a much lower price because I'm thinking, it's me, I'm just a mess, blah, blah, blah. So I had to go to the experts. What is this value at? What is this? What kind of value do I place on this? And based on their guidance, I now decided that, okay, this is how. So you need to find out what is the industry standard. What should I be earning? And as you get better, as your brand improves, as you become the Oprah of your industry, you begin to scale. And it's good when you're serving a company and you're growing with the company has also seen value. So show value, show discipline, show that you have read Navi, Body Up, and you have learned all the skills you are supposed to learn. You're following Navi work, you're learning great skills, and then you're imputing them, you're imbibing them, so that even the people that are getting you don't want to lose you. People pay for value. That's what people do. They pay for value. Yes. I hope I answered the questions.
Yes. You have answered everything. Roshan, just to give us a wrap up, then we go to the next.
Wow. Thank you so much, amazing. That was amazing. People pay for value. Let me see it in the chat, you guys. You can write in the people pay for value. So make sure you live up with value, and then people will pay for you. If you want to be paid more, increase your value, right? All right. So can I ask one more question?
Oh, please go ahead. You have me while you have me. So
yes. So here is somebody asked, how can we ensure that a request from our executives to receive and withdraw money using our personal information is safe and not part of a fraudulent activity?
That's a good question, because there's so much going on now. Before you use your personal details for any executive, you must have history with that executive. You must have built a history of trust. You don't use your personal details. It's work. So yes, you have those soft skills. You're nice, you are friendly, you're warm, you're hospitable, you have good manners. Yes, but when it comes to your personal details, you don't give those out until you have built history. When you have built the history, still document the request. So your executive tells you, I need you to use your personal account to do this. You say, please, can you send me an email, sir? Please, can you send me an email, ma? Because that email is not going anywhere. And then you will respond to the email following your request that I do this. Please see the receipt or the teller or the this that for which I did. So you, first of all, build history. Make sure you can trust the person. After you have done that, then document it. If the person says, no, now, you know me, Just do it as I told you to do it. Say, sir, you know the times that we live in, and my account may be monitored. And this is what my account officer said to me. Can you kindly please, sir or ma, send me an email telling me to do it so that I can now do it based on your documented instruction. That's how to navigate that.
Wow, amazing. To develop, yeah, make sure you have the history of this person, right? Okay. So,
And
Ameze,
even with
I
the
would have
history
loved,
Russian, even with the history
yeah.
Russian, the person's instruction must be documented. You may have a history with
Documented.
somebody, but you don't know whether the person just turned a criminal and you did not know. So the person must also send you an email, and that email would document. I mean, that email would say what the person is asking you for. What is the person asking you for? Document it. Let the person send an email. If the person is not being fraudulent, the person won't have a problem with documenting it. No, the person should document the instruction they're giving you to do what they're asking you to do. So what are they asking you to do? You shouldn't be afraid to document what they're requesting of you. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. Amazing. Our learners literally listening to whatever you're saying. Would have loved for this session to continue, but we're gonna have to end here, guys. But like I said, she's all over. She's on Instagram. You can find her if you want to learn more on Navi Work Life. She's on YouTube. You can find her there, Navi Work Life. So just follow, and every time you learn, go get the book, guys, and you will be learning from her each and every day. But yeah, so guys, so let's just please tell us in the chat one thing you've learned today. Just type in the chat, just one thing, so that Amazing should see. So what's one thing you've learned today? One thing you're ready to implement today. Let's say it in the chat as we wrap up. Everybody, build history before you trust. On time is too late. Document everything. Discipline is key. Oh wow, on time is too late. People pay for value. On time is too late. People communication is key. Wow, respect, be accountable for yourself. Wow, wow, wow. That's it. Wow, wow. You guys were listening. Thank you so, so much. So now we go to announcements. So keep an eye on any program updates shared via email and the portal. And if you have any questions, please drop it. Chat with Leah on the portal as well, and she will be of great assistance. For any technical issues you might encounter on Savannah, kindly reach out to our support team on Zendex. Guys, take advantage of Leah, take advantage of Zendex. Okay. Make sure you complete and submit your week 5 milestone and recap quiz ahead of the deadline, which is on Monday. All right, thanks. Let's go to the next slide, thanks. Okay. So guys, please, it's now time for you to tell us your thoughts. Make sure you give us feedback right now, so you can take a picture. You can scan the QR code right now and give us feedback as we are wrapping up. Yes, your feedback is very important to us. It will help us make sure that our future events are amazing as they are today. Yes. So, James, please play some music as people are giving feedback now. Thank you. You can scan the QR code and let's give feedback. You can also click the link in the chat and you will give us the feedback. All right. Okay. James, let's go to the next slide, please. And the light in the tunnel. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming today. Let's keep the journey alive. Let's explore, let's connect and grow. See you again next time. Bye. Don't forget to give us the feedback, guys. You guys have been amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we'll be waiting for the feedback. But yeah, let's explore, let's connect, let's keep growing, let's keep learning, submit those milestones, and help a friend if they're having challenges submitting this milestone. Otherwise, that is it from us today. Goodbye. Bye. See you again next week.